In GLP-1 news, it looks like semaglutide might be great for smoking cessation. Of course, giant news in the last week from both Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, a change in Weight Watchers and the food industry. So lots and lots of stuff to talk about. Plenty of stories. Welcome to the Downsize News. It's Monday, August 12th.
I'm Laraine, and that's Christopher, and we're here to bring you the latest updates, insights, and opinions on GLP-1 medications like Mounjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, Ozempic, tirzepatide, and Semaglutide.
And just a reminder, while we are passionate about GLP-1s and weight loss, we're not doctors. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before starting or adjusting any weight loss medication or treatment.
Okay, let's get into today's news. In story number one, it's been a big week for Eli Lilly and GLP-1s. They released their impressive Q2 2024 earnings report. We've covered it several times this week, so you can watch our other videos for extended views on the announcements. But the pharmaceutical giant has been at the forefront of developing innovative GLP-1 medications like Mounjaro and Zepbound, which have been instrumental in helping our community and us manage the disease of obesity. According to Eli Lilly's CEO, David A. Ricks, the demand for these products continues to surge, reflecting a growing recognition of the effectiveness of GLPs. Highlights include the upcoming release of the 2.5 and 5 milligram Zepbound vials in the U.S., which is completely new. Eli Lilly also launched a multi-dose quick pen in Europe. United States. Eli Lilly also expanded its manufacturing capabilities. The company announced a historic $5.3 billion investment in its Lebanon, Indiana manufacturing sites, bringing their total investment in the area to $9 billion. This expansion will significantly boost the production of active pharmaceutical ingredients for Zepbound and Mounjaro, ensuring that these life-changing medications will remain accessible to those who need them, like us. Make sure to check out the full video. The link is in the description.
Story number two is Novo Nordisk. So we covered this earlier this week in a YouTube Live. If you missed that, it's available to watch as well. That Novo Nordisk reported mixed financial results for the second quarter of 2024. While the company saw overall strong demand for its GLP-1 drugs, including Wegovy, Ozempic, and Victoza, sales of Wegovy, its flagship weight loss medication, fell short of market expectations. Wildly profitable, but they didn't meet expectations. Wegovy, which has been a cornerstone of Novo Nordisk's strategy to address the global obesity crisis, experienced a 55% year-over-year sales growth. So imagine that. Growth of 55% and you still didn't meet expectations.
You can't sell it if you don't have it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Reaching 1.7 billion USD. However, this was below the anticipated figures, leading Novo Nordisk to lower its full-year profit forecast. The disappointing sales performance triggered a sharp reaction in the stock market, with the company's shares plunging by as much as 7.7% before stabilizing at 3.1% decline. This stumble highlights the challenges Novo Nordisk faces in the competitive obesity treatment market, where it has been a dominant player. With the global obesity drug market expected to reach $150 billion by the early 2030s, the pressure is on for companies like Novo Nordisk to meet high investor expectations and manage growth expectations from other pharmaceutical giants like Eli Lilly. Despite these challenges, Novo Nordisk remains committed to expanding its obesity treatment portfolio and scaling up production to meet the rising demand. Make sure to check out that live because we had a great conversation.
In story number three, semaglutide, the active ingredient in GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, may do more than just help with weight loss and diabetes management. It could also aid in smoking cessation. Interesting. A new study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that smokers with type 2 diabetes who use semaglutide were less likely to require medical intervention for tobacco use disorder compared to those on other diabetes medications. The study analyzed health records from 222,000 smokers with type 2 diabetes, of whom 5,967 were new users of semaglutide. The researchers tracked various smoking-related medical encounters, including diagnoses of tobacco use disorder, prescriptions for smoking cessation medications, and counseling sessions. They found that patients taking semaglutide had a significantly lower risk of these encounters over the following 12 months. This effect was most pronounced within the first 30 days of starting semaglutide. The study suggests that semaglutide might help reduce smoking by influencing the brain's reward system, which is involved in addiction. GLP-1 receptors, which semaglutide activates, are thought to modulate the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. By potentially reducing the dopamine surge that reinforces smoking behavior, semaglutide may decrease cravings and help people quit smoking. Another possible mechanism could be related to weight management. Many smokers are concerned about gaining weight if they quit, and that can deter them from trying to stop. Since semaglutide is effective in promoting weight loss, it might reduce this fear, making it easier for smokers to quit. The study highlights a new potential benefit of semaglutide, adding to its already well-known effects on weight loss and diabetes management. If further studies confirm these findings, semaglutide could become a valuable tool in helping people quit smoking, particularly those with type 2 diabetes who are already using the medication for other health benefits.
So what do you think of this?
Well, we know that these GLP-1 drugs, and I've always said this, you don't get the same high that you used to get from sugar, from alcohol, from carbs. So it's that addiction center in your brain. So if people can not get the high or the dopamine hit they used to get from smoking, from online shopping, from drinking, they're going to stop doing it, especially those things that are causing them great harm like smoking.
I'm sure you remember, but for those of us of the right age, I was in college in the late 80s, early 90s. I think 2/3 of the girls I knew smoked just to keep their weight down.
Yeah, I did know a lot of people that smoked like that. And it's unfortunate. You'd be a skinny corpse, I guess. And even when I first started work in the 90s and early 2000s, my boss smoked. A lot of the people I worked with smoked. We had a smoking area at work. My high school had a smoking area. I think if you were 16, you could go in the smoking area. I told my children that the other day. They thought that was crazy. But yeah, I hope these GLP-1 drugs are effective for
Could
quitting
be a great
smoking.
option there.
It says right on the box it's going to kill you. Why you want to?
There's pictures even in some countries, so
Yeah,
it's kind of terrifying.
In our next story, in a significant move to stay relevant in the ever-evolving weight loss industry, Weight Watchers, now known as WW, has announced a major brand overhaul. The company, which has been a household name for over 6 decades, has appointed former Meta, or Facebook marketer, Christina Cathari as the new Global Vice President of Brand and Integrated Marketing. Additionally, Weight Watchers has named Ogilvy as its global creative agency of record. In 2023, Weight Watchers launched a GLP-1 side in their app. The program for Weight Watchers members focuses on the health and nutrition needs of patients using GLP-1s like Ozempic and Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Zepbound, as well as other GLP-1 medications. They also debuted Weight Watchers Clinic, which gives Weight Watchers members access to telehealth, weight management, and doctors who can prescribe weight loss medicines. This strategic shift comes as the weight loss market undergoes transformational changes, largely due to the increasing popularity of GLP-1s to treat the disease of obesity. Weight Watchers' refreshed brand campaign is called Fit You, and it aims to showcase real members and their stories, highlighting the personalization at the heart of WW's programs. This campaign showcases 4 services that Weight Watchers offers: points, doctors, medications, and dietitians. We wanted to reshape this old narrative and culture that weight loss is about willpower, said Ogilvy President Darla Price. For users of GLP-1 medications, WW's transformation emphasizes the broadening landscape of obesity treatment. As GLP-1 medications become more mainstream, old-school diet companies like WW are adapting to offer complementary strategies that could enhance the treatment of obesity. The new ads launch in the same week. Weight Watchers reported a 4% drop in quarterly profits and an 11% decline in sales for the most recent quarter, announcing a $100 million annual cost cutting, which includes cutting 40% of its senior executive positions.
So, you're lifelong Weight Watchers. What do you think of all this?
Weight Watchers is in trouble, and they know they're in trouble. They've made so many cuts to their programs. They've eliminated all the products from their meetings. You can't buy their products there anymore or anywhere. They've eliminated a good portion of their in-person meetings. They've eliminated their storefronts that were specifically Weight Watchers. You could go in there and go to a meeting. Now we meet in churches or community centers or places like that. They've just made a lot of cuts, and they know that they're not going to be relevant anymore, and they know that these GLP-1s are changing the whole face of weight loss, so they've added it to their program. So as a Weight Watchers member, you can pay to be a Weight Watchers member, and then you can pay extra if you want to do their clinic. And you can do it right from their app. You can go online, pay the fee, meet with their online doctor. They can prescribe you the GLP-1 medications. I don't think they actually supply the GLP-1 medications. They just give you the prescription. And then you have to go fill it yourself at CVS or some other pharmacy. And the unfortunate thing about this is that a lot of the Weight Watchers members do not want this in their meetings. And a lot of the Weight Watchers leaders know nothing about GLP-1 medications. There's been no communication or training, it seems like to me, on this matter. So I think there's a big disconnect. I know Weight Watchers is losing money and they seem to be running scared.
You obviously have a personal connection to it. I think I attended like 2 Weight Watchers meetings in my life.
No, I've been to hundreds, if not
To me,
thousands.
the more interesting piece of it is at the same time you're talking about them cutting, and we see retailers doing it all the time with closed stuff. It's rare that companies can cut to grow or even cut to survive. They're also hiring what I'm sure was a very well-paid executive from Facebook, and they signed on as their agency of record Ogilvy, which if you're not in the marketing advertising business, Ogilvy is, if you remember the TV show Mad Men, kind of Ogilvy is that classic old school, top tier, expensive New York agency. This is bringing in the big guns.
I mean, it's just very disappointing to me that they put all that investment toward a high-powered advertising firm and a high-powered, high-paid executive from Facebook. They did the same thing with Oprah a few years ago, paid her a boatload of money to come in and be the spokesperson.
Owner.
And
she
has totally divested now because she knows, for whatever reason, she's completely out. And she gave her money that she had invested her shares to, was it a museum, the Smithsonian? I
something
think.
like that.
She just didn't want any of the money from it or anything to do.
Well, she wanted to be able to talk about it without having a conflict of interest.
She wanted to talk about GLP-1.
Is Weight Watchers as a brand salvageable? Is it something that can survive into the future? I mean, that was the whole point, right? They went to WW, so you don't include Weight Watchers.
Kind of like
old school.
Dunkin' Donuts going to Dunkin'.
Yeah, but Dunkin' Donuts doesn't have baggage in the words, right?
Donuts. They wanted to be known as more of they added that little runner man to be more like health and fitness with your donuts. WW, I don't think they want to be, there's such a huge brand recognition to the name Weight Watchers. I think people still know WW is Weight Watchers. I don't think they're getting away from it too much. And there's a huge brand recognition even around WW. I mean, they've got the website, www.com.
Right. Does anybody under 30 want to do Weight Watchers? Or under 50 want to do Weight Watchers?
I don't know. You occasionally see a young person pop into a Weight Watchers studio for an in-person meeting. When I go on the online meetings that are basically like Zoom call type meetings, it is a lot of older people, a lot of homebound people who maybe can't get out. But in the in-person meetings, I'd say probably 80% of the people in there are my age or older.
Just seems like if you're 25, 30-year-old mom who needs to lose some weight.
Well, you're going on a GLP-1.
There's GLP-1s and there's Noom and
Watchers.
there's all kinds of other more modern, better branded, more contemporary opportunities.
Yeah, but at some point I think Weight Watchers does go away completely unless they find a way to really grab into some of this GLP-1 traction. And in so doing so, they will leave all their old members behind. But those old members are old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people that did Weight Watchers in 1985 are now, I'm 55, and my mom's 75, 80, 90. Well, you know, I think they have to...
75 will get you managing to today, but you can't manage to 75-year-olds for tomorrow.
No, that's what I mean. Like, these people aren't going to be around 30 years from now, obviously. So if they want to stay relevant, I think they have to start talking about GLP-1s in their in-person meetings and their online meetings. Have to start making that more of a focus, and people won't like it. So I think you'll automatically shift to a younger customer then.
If they survive, we'll see. Should be interesting. All right, next story up. A recent study on the new GLP-1 glucagon receptor agonist Pemvidutide brings hopeful news for those battling obesity. The Phase 2 Momentum clinical trial, which lasts 48 weeks and involved 391 participants who were either obese or overweight with at least one comorbidity, high blood pressure or something else like that, has shown promising results. Pemvidutide, administered in weekly doses of 1.2 milligrams, 1.8 milligrams, and 2.4 milligrams, demonstrated significant weight loss with less impact on lean muscle mass compared to other incretin-based weight loss drugs. Participants on Pemvidutide experienced a mean weight loss ranging from 10.3% to 15.6% across the varying doses, with only 21.9% of this loss coming from lean muscle, a stark contrast to the up to 40% muscle loss reported with other treatments. This preservation of muscle is crucial as it helps maintain overall physical function and metabolism during weight loss. The study also underscored the drug's unique mechanism of action as a dual agonist for GLP-1 and glucagon receptors. It not only suppresses appetite, but also enhances energy expenditure and impacts fat metabolism in the liver. These effects are seen as key advantages over traditional treatments, making Pemvidutide a potentially transformative option for those seeking to lose weight without sacrificing muscle integrity. So
Keep your muscle, lose the weight. Yeah.
And basically, when you do work out, when you do exercise those things, your muscles will burn the right stuff and burn more stuff.
Yeah, well, I think we know that anytime you lose weight, you run the risk of losing muscle, or you do lose muscle. I know according to my scale, so our scale measures fat and muscle, sends a current through us. So it's not exact science, but it does give us some direction. And I think I lost 30 or 40% of my weight that I lost was in muscle mass. So if you can take something that is going to help you preserve that muscle mass, I would say that's a good thing. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that?
And a recent grocery industry webinar hosted by Grocery Dopio has highlighted significant changes as a result of the growing use of GLP-1s. If you guys know what we do in the other side of our life, the grocery business, the private brand business is the complete focus of it. This is the world that I've been in for the last, 20 years just about. So it's exciting to see them taking it more seriously. If you haven't watched the presentation I did from our own Velocity conference that's available, I'll leave a link in because I speak specifically to the grocery and the private brand industry about that. According to the State of the Digital Grocery Performance Score report discussed during the event, users of GLP-1 medications have reduced their grocery spending by an average of 11% this year. So if you're a retailer, that's a huge drop.
Yeah.
The report's findings indicated that nearly a third of U.S. consumers could start using GLP-1 drugs, which may lead to a dramatic shift in consumer buying habits. One of my personal friends and the guy that runs the Food Marketing Institute's industry relations, Doug Baker, he's a VP there, emphasized the potential scale of this shift, predicting that 12 to 36 million Americans could be on GLP-1 medications in the upcoming years. FMI is aware of 70 different GLP-1 drug trials currently under review by the Food and Drug Administration. Could be a huge shift. David Winan, Chief Customer Officer for Incisive, noted that approximately 6.5 million U.S. citizens use GLP-1s. These drugs' impact is most noticeable in the reduced consumption of snacks, baked goods, and sugary drinks, categories likely to see continued decline as GLP-1 use expands. Barry Clogan, Chief Product Officer of WinShop, suggested that the trend might spur product innovation, particularly in creating smaller product sizes and developing items with lower sugar and carbohydrate content. So it's interesting they were talking about all of this at a grocery event. I wasn't able to attend. Would have loved to been in the crowd or even on the panel. It's an interesting report on the grocery business and how it's impacted by GLP-1s. I mean, what do you think?
I think we eat a lot less on GLP-1s.
Absolutely.
Probably more than 11% less, honestly.
Join us this Wednesday. It's a different day, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Downsize Live. What will we be doing? Why are we moving it?
We have to move children into college on Thursday. We'll be here Wednesday night.
We're gallivanting around the North Carolina countryside, dropping off kids at college. And you can ask questions, connect with our amazing community.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay up to date with all our happenings.
And make sure to hit that notification bell so you get reminded every time we do that.
I'm Laraine.
And I'm Christopher. Until next time, take care.